This is Harry Davis from Mirror Fighting, and I'm joined by Elle Brooke ahead of her Misfits return next weekend in Leeds. A rematch, almost 18 months in the making now against AJ Bunker. So, Elle, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so tired. It gets to this point of the camp that you just like can't wait for the fight to be over because I'm going to Vegas straight after. So I'm like, I've got better things to come.
Oh, already plans for after the fight. What are you doing in Vegas?
Well, I'm out there anyway. But it turns out that Johnny Fisher's fighting at the same time. So the week after Johnny's fighting. So I was actually going for pleasure anyway, but we extended it to see Johnny. So it's all fun and games. Then obviously I've got the after party. Maybe I'm not taking this seriously enough that I'm just thinking about afterwards.
Well, as I said, it is a rematch, and I remember going to the first fight with you and AJ. I was speaking to her about it yesterday. It's sort of crazy, what, almost 18 months ago now, that first Kingpin event. And you've both probably changed a lot since then. The rivalry's still there, but you probably felt like you've come on a lot as a boxer since then and as a person too.
Yeah, 100%. I've spent days and hours learning the craft, and I've learned a lot about myself individually through boxing as well. Like I'm putting myself through hell, and I hope for no bloody reason. Like I have to win this. I've worked way too hard to not win this.
As I said, it's your first fight back in a while. It's sort of weird saying that because it feels like you're always around the Misfit scene, but it's the first fight since the Julie Poker bout for Kingpin. It's been what, since July last year, and what was the sort of reason for your absence? I know you had quite a lot of fights. Did you want just sort of a break given it was fight camp after fight camp?
Yeah, I think I had fought three times in 6, 7 months. Like that is crazy busy. So well, number one, there wasn't really anyone to fight. It wasn't until September that AJ won the belt. So yeah, just taking time off. And I think that perhaps I needed that time to learn more about the craft and develop my skills in between each fight rather than just going straight into another camp. And I think I needed that break. So I took a whole month off and I went to like Cancun, Vegas, LA, Nashville. Oh, I had a great summer. So yeah, I definitely needed that mental detox.
What are your thoughts on AJ? Because I remember being at the KSI Tommy Fury fight, and you sort of had a bit of a run in there. She had some stuff to say to you. I thought it was obviously all settled after the fight. I'm sure you did too, but it sort of lived on after then. She's always wanted the rematch because she's felt like you've been disrespectful to her.
Yeah, I mean, she's always wanted the rematch, but she's had her hand forced with it right now. She's like, yeah, just because you called me out, like you didn't want this to happen. You wanted to fight anyone other than me right now, but you're being made to fight me. So I have to thank Misfits for that, not her for taking this fight. She's been told she has to fight me. Um, but yeah, I forgot what the question was. I just went on a tangent.
Yeah, I was just talking really about AJ because, since her, I remember, I think there was a video of you reacting to her fight with Astrid, and she sort of has come on a bit since you first fought. But would you say she's a tougher opponent than you've had against the likes of Julie Poker and the ones in Kingpin or not?
Fuck no. No, 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 no. Oh my God. I've been fighting so much heavier than what I am. I think people underestimate actually how small I am. And there was no one to fight. And that is exactly why I went up in weight. So I was fighting at 63.5 kilo. These girls are like cutting all the way down. I don't think people realize like how big these girls actually are compared to me. And like with Julie, she's the bigger animal. She absolutely annihilated me. I learned a lesson, learned to go down in weight. Um, so I think I won't have that much of a challenge against AJ. Don't get me wrong, I'm not underestimating her, but I don't think really she's that good. And I think that if I can't beat AJ Bunker in this fight, I really shouldn't box. Like full stop. Like that's it for me. Like if I can't beat AJ Bunker, this ain't for you, babe.
Is that a sort of pressure you put on yourself when you have any of your other fights? Maybe not because this is a rematch, so you know what it's like, but is that really how you feel like, if it doesn't go to plan, then maybe I shouldn't stick around?
Yeah, if I can't beat AJ Bunker, then 100% because granted, I had a defeat with someone heavier, and there's like reasons for that, and you can kind of like even though I got my ass beat, and I know I got my ass beat, there's reasons why perhaps I didn't win that. Whereas for this one, I should beat her. That's the difference.
I remember with that Kingpin tournament, the whole talk was, oh my God, is Emily gonna box her sister? Obviously, it fizzled out. We never even really got the finals anyway. But what were the conversations like with you and Emily? Because I'm sure that's something that is quite divided by a lot of siblings. Would you have done it? Would you have not done it?
Yeah, I mean, we grew up. It's actually our birthdays in a couple of days. Like we have the same birthday year apart. We have been fighting all our lives, whether it's like throwing knives at each other, scissors, heels, everything. Like having the opportunity to box in a ring with gloves on, like that's amazing. That's way safer than we do it at home. So 100%, I'd do anything for money. I think people know that. I'd do anything for money and clout. So I 100% would fight my sister. And I think she's basically, we're from the same cloth. So
What's her sort of recent months been like in boxing? Is she keen to get back in there, maybe even join you on a potential card on Misfits or not?
I think she 100% she's still training semi-regularly, so it still interests her. I just don't know whether there is anyone to fight. I think unfortunately the pool of women is so small that there's not as many opportunities to box as there is for the male influencer boxers.
Mm. I spoke to AJ yesterday, and given that she's been in the ring with you and Astrid, who I said is probably what the two sort of biggest female stars in influencer boxing, she shared the ring with you both. I sort of asked her to compare them, and she said, "Look, I think Astrid hits harder, but Elle has definitely faced the tougher competition going back to the you fighting above your weight class and in Kingpin against those big girls." Is that would you agree with that? Obviously, you've not fought Astrid yet, but she was basically sort of saying that I think Astrid hits harder, but Elle has definitely faced the tougher girls.
So Astrid at that point, I'd been boxing like 12 months in 10 ounces. I fought AJ for 2 months with 14 ounces. That is the difference. You cannot compare the two. Like the fact she said Astrid hunches harder than me, like, and she was even like yesterday, she was even like, yeah, you barely hit my face. Like you are actually mentally incapable. Like I don't even know how you got your license if you genuinely think that.
Maybe that is like you said. I've sort of forgotten the first. Again, it was such a long time ago now. That first Kingpin event, I didn't realize the first fight with AJ was in 14s and now it's down to 10. So maybe it'll be different in the power sense, right?
100%. And I think that fight was a lot of like arm swinging. Like I don't actually think AJ technique has got a lot better. She still swings. Like some people call it an overhand. I call it swinging. I don't think she sets up her shots. I don't think she's technically amazing. Um yeah.
Has it been back to the usual training camp with Tibbs? And I know Ebony sort of had a unfortunate out in her last fight, but has she been helping you a lot for the camp? Any real different sparring partners or sort of back to basics as last year was?
Um, to be honest, I think since my last fight, I think the camp hasn't actually been too different. The main thing about just being in a camp for me, because I'm always in the gym anyway, is the eating and probably sparring more regularly. But I've had a lot of different variation of sparring partners this time. Liz cousin who's like 5'11", and I've been sparring her, getting used to the reach and the height. Maisie Rose. That's also very interesting. She's very good. It's like fighting Lemonchenko. I don't know what I'm learning apart from that mental toughness. Learning a lot about myself when I'm in the ring with her. So yeah, I've had good variation of sparring partners, like amateurs, professionals. So yeah, I think I'm equipped.
You mentioned Maisie Rose. I remember going to her. She was fighting on the AJ undercard last year, and it seems like you're fighting the up and coming professionals. But would you ever cross to the ranks? Because I know you sort of semi-focused on, or very focused on your content creation career too. But would you make that cross go into professional? Because it's a whole different world entirely. But you could do it, right? You're still young. We saw Nina Hughes
Yeah.
win a belt at the age of 40. Yeah. There's a lot of time for you to still do that if you want to. Is that something you've thought about or not?
Yeah, I think if the money is there and the skills are there, then 100%. Like I think that would be the next tier or the stepping stone or the progression on my journey.
Mm. The fight with Astrid, is that one that you think that will happen this year or not in your heart of hearts?
I genuinely don't think Astrid would ever take that fight.
Did you think is that changed in terms of like, did you maybe think there was one reason at the start why she wouldn't take it and then it's changed to this, or has it always been you set on like she just doesn't want to fight me, period?
Yeah, she doesn't want to fight me, period. She's had the opportunities to. And she always says, like, come down to my weight, like 51 kgs. So the first fight that we had set up and she pulled out of is 56. So she knows that I can't get down to that weight. So she's absolutely not fond of a catch weight. But that's the fight that sells. That's the fight that is going to get clout and money. And there's no other female influencer boxing fight that makes more sense. Arguably, there's other than Jake Paul and KSI, all the good fights have gone now. I think there's more narratives to be made. They were all on the prime card. So that is like the second best fight to make, I think.
And finally, I spoke to AJ about this. She's been I know you moaned about her for not sort of promoting the fight, but she's been trying to do so. Even I think you saw you commented on it, her throwing the sort of doll out in the bin and flushing it down the toilet with your face on it. Have you been impressed by anything she's done being more creative or not?
Being more creative. She's just done what I did and then like copied it and tried doing it herself for her own promotion. Like she was just complaining yesterday, like, oh, I just wanted to build my name up more for the fight with you because I was on an undercard in Newcastle and all this stuff. Like you have such shit promotion and you're so uncreative. You are gonna stay there. You are now co-main of an event because of me. You should be thanking me. The only reason that you're in influencer boxing anyway is because you took a fight on with me. You are literally a no one. She should have more gratitude towards me.